Yes, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Dose podcast. Today, we have yet another very special guest on the show. This guy has been smashing it across multiple countries now, originally representing the Real Talk League in Australia, and has now been over in the UK for the last year, battling across pretty much every platform that we have. KARNI, what's good, man?
All good, man. Let's get it cracking, man. Thanks so much for the opportunity, and big ups for you for doing these things as well, man. I've always loved listening to them. It helps kill time when all of us quarantine and strapped down in our houses and shit. So big ups to you as well, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And yeah, it's just the perfect time to get some content going, really, with everyone not in work and stuff. But
Definitely.
with yourself, man, how was it for you that you got into battle rap from the beginning then?
Oh shit, man. It goes way back. So I started off in the freestyle scene in Australia. So that was probably 17 years ago. It's been a journey. You watch 8 Mile when you're 12 or some shit. And then I'd been writing rhymes before that when I was 10 and 11. So I've been writing rhymes, and then I'm like, oh shit, battling seems to be a good way to get your name out, sort of thing. So then I think I entered my first freestyle battle tournament when I was 14 or 15.
Yeah, okay.
And then obviously I did the freestyle thing. I think I entered probably 5 tournaments or some shit. But I ended up, through the freestyle thing, being friends with a guy named Nicotine, who back in Australia, he's well known in the battle scene. And but he was winning all these tournaments. So then I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to enter. We battled once in a freestyle tournament. And I'm like, now we're clicked up. I don't want to enter tournaments and having to keep clashing with him, sort of thing. So it ended up being Nico would do the battles, and I was working on the music on the side. And because this was back before, Facebook or anything. This is back when it was actually real life scene sort of thing. So it was Nick would I guess push our name out, which was sick initiative. So Nick would rep us in the battles, and in the meantime I'd work on music, and then when my music got done, we'd put that out, and everyone would know that, oh, Nicotine, the guy who's sick battler, he vouches for KARNI, sort of thing. And we put music out through that. And then when the freestyle scene sort of ended, I guess, it sort of ended, I reckon, during the WRC sort of thing. And that was a weird time, I reckon, because Nico entered WRCs with, who was it, Dragonfly. And that's when 360, Anecdote, Prime and Purpose all became sort of no names in the battle rap, as in internationally they were known.
Sure.
And then from there, it was sort of, then I went into the written form of battle rap. I got bodied in my first battle, not gonna lie. Absolutely destroyed. And then my second battle, I bodied the guy I versed. And then and that same event, Nicotine versed Greeley, who's also sort of a big name back home. And then I did one more battle, and then I went away for 3 years, just working on music, while Nicotine sort of went up sort of the ladders and that. So I was always paranoid coming back. They're going to be like, oh, you only get in these events because you're Nicotine's mate, sort of thing. But I guess over the last 6 or so years, I sort of established a name on my own while Nico's not battled.
Sure. Okay, that makes sense. And Nicotine, I'm aware of through he, in my opinion, probably should have earned himself a battle over in the UK. I remember that.
Well, he earned that. that's the thing. He went through, what was it called? The Don't Flop Icebreaker tournament.
Yeah.
And it had to be, like, it still has to be one of the best runs of an Australian battler in history. First round, he battled LJ, who's now Real Talk champion. Second round, he battled Plans, and that was probably battle of the tournament. Third round, he battled Dundee, and then in the final, he beat Purpose. Like, that's, all those guys are like so highly regarded, like in Australia, and he never battled since. But to win that tournament, he had a free flight to UK, but because of his commitments here, because of his work, he never got to go to the UK to battle.
Ah, okay. That makes a bit more sense to me because I seem to remember watching the battle and thinking that Nico beat Purpose, but it was Purpose that ended up coming over to the UK. So that
Yeah, well,
makes a bit
just
more
before the
sense.
battle, I remember they announced that both guys would go through regardless. Like, they were happy to fly both guys.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously, yeah, Nick's Worko. Good. I think I'm trying to remember. I think that's the one where then Purpose went there, and I think he battled. I think it was Quill.
Yeah, that's right. He battled
Yeah,
Quill, and then I think he came back about 6 months later and
and he
battled
did
Sol.
the. Yeah, I remember he did the one rounder with Soul, because I
Yeah,
remember thinking like that. That was both ones were like crazy battles. Like, I put Purpose on the like Mount Rushmore of like Australian battle rap. He definitely has a place there. Like, no doubt about it. He's represented us overseas way better than like Bard Dundee and 360. Like, he's phenomenal,
yeah,
and he never slips up. Purpose never chokes. Even when he has to go to freestyles, his freestyles sound like writtens. Like, he was amazing in the day.
yeah, yeah. I was a big fan of him, to be fair, and like both Purpose and Nicotine we've not seen for like a really long time now. Like, do you think there's any chance of them returning? I know Purpose got quite big with his music. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Purpose is sort of like focused on his music career back in Australia. Nicotine's sort of like he stepped away. Like, he's sort of he'll still come to events. Like, he flew in when I versed, was it Bronson? Like, he flew in from Cairns to come watch me and support me. But I think he's pretty much done with battle rap now. Like, it got weird for him because he's a defense attorney.
Oh shit.
So
Okay.
so he was like, it's been once or twice where like he's gone to like meet whoever he has to defend in court, and then like, you're Nicotine, and he's like, fuck, I gotta stop battling.
Yeah, fair one. No, I can understand that, to be fair, but yeah, it's they were both phenomenal, to be fair, and it was a
Oh,
shame that we
absolutely.
didn't get to see
And like,
Nico over here.
and they're like years away now. Like, that's probably like 4 or 5 years ago now. And their rhymes, like Purpose versus Nicotine, that still holds up even now.
Definitely, yeah, man, agreed. It was a good time, especially like there was quite a few kind of UK battlers coming over to Australia at that point as well. Like, I know Shuffle T went out and like Juan came over, a
Yeah, yeah,
few
yeah.
others and stuff. It
Yeah,
was
I
good
saw
to see
both
that
of them.
link up
Like,
there.
Shuffle T versus Dunners was one of the greatest battles we've had in Australia, man. Like, it was just jokes from start to finish. Like, the whole battle was enjoyable. Like,
Definitely.
I think that's probably my favorite Oz versus UK to happen in Oz battle I've seen. Like, the end of the round where Dunners sort of like, he's done the trick, and Shuffle T's like, oh fuck, now you get to punch me in the arm. Dunners fucking lays him in the arm, and then the next round, Shuffle just starts with, this motherfucker done deaded my wing. And I was in fucking tears, man. And like, that whole event was fucking amazing, though, to be honest. Like, big ups to those guys for doing that.
Yeah, definitely. It looked like a good event, to be fair. And like with yourself, so you were quite heavily involved in Real Talk starting over in Australia. How did that come about?
So I was involved with Real Talk Melbourne. So what happened was Real Talk had been going in Brisbane for like years. I think it was 8 years before I got involved. And then the Adelaide scene had started as well. And in Melbourne, we had 1 ounce first, which I didn't battle on. That was sort of like during my 3-year hiatus. But then Amped Up was sort of going on strong. And Amped Up were the ones who did the Don't Flop Australia event, which is what Dundee versus Shuffle T was on.
Yeah.
And then after that, like, I think that's when I battled Chimera, and it was meant to be, they had like a big event set for, it was going to be like, Don't Flop 2. And the main event was meant to be Pat Stay versus Manners.
Oh, shit.
Which, would have been a huge battle. And on that card, it was meant to be me versus Ted.
Okay.
And like, and like the whole car was meant to be huge, but unfortunately, Codex, who was running the whole thing at the time, he ran into like some personal issues. He had like a breakup with his missus, and he just stepped away from battle rap completely. And it was sort of like, at the time, I was sort of like, all right, I understand your reasons for all of this. And I'm like, oh, fuck. But now my city doesn't have a league. So I was sort of like, fuck, like, I don't want to run a league. I just want to battle. But I want to battle in my home city as well. I want there to be an avenue as well for other battlers to, like, you don't, if you're a tryout battler, you don't really want to have to pay like, $300 or $400 to go and try out in another city. So I was like, I'll reach out to Wiz and Gil. So I reached out to them, and that's when Real Talk Melbourne basically launched. And our first event was absolutely massive. We had Dundee versus Cortez as the main event. And I still remember like hosting that thing. I remember standing on stage and I'm like, I can't believe like I'm witnessing this, and to know that like, I'd been involved in the whole event, because I'd never thrown an event or anything like that before, and it was just fucking crazy. And we did like another 2 events before I came to the UK, but it was absolutely insane, man. Like we just wanted to have an avenue for like, to get more talent through the ranks, because I think that's the one thing UK sort of takes for granted, how much talent you guys have here. Even if a lot of like people might say, oh, he's middle tier or whatever, but the amount of battlers you have, like, it's hard just to get an event together to have 6 matchups in Australia, because there's that few people who are sort of actively battling.
Sure. No, I can imagine. Yeah, it's with the Aussie scene though. Like for me personally, I've always been aware of it, and like I've always seen the odd battle down the years, but like I've never followed it that closely until kind of discovering Real Talk, which would have been, I think, around 2017. So
Okay, yep.
I think the first battle that I saw that kind of got me properly into it was Dundee versus Head Ice.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that battle. That one did crazy. Like, for us, it's crazy views to do like 54,000. And I think that one's sitting on about 70.
I actually rewatched it a few days ago, and it's about 3,000 views away from 100K.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit,
There's
yeah, I didn't know it was that. But yeah, like, and both those guys, Head Ice is like a sick dude as well. Like, that's always been the thing with me. Most of the events I actually get to battle on in Australia, I've always had some shit come up where I didn't get to battle in front of, like, the internationals,
Sure.
which always shit me a little bit. So then when I did get the chance to battle in front of A Ward and Jims, like, that was when I versed Bronson, and like I sort of gave my all in that one.
Yeah, I watched the Bronson battle pretty recently as well, and it's a really good show. And like Bronson, I wasn't really aware of until I watched that battle. So it was a good battle on both sides, to be fair. But he's
Bronson's like he's extremely talented. Like, so in like the Australian scene at the moment, like in our forum, he's in the final now versus Bobby Rex.
yeah,
So
yeah. I've been keeping up to date with that, and he seems good. Is he like? Does he make grime music, or is he a bit like a
nah,
grime MC?
nah. What Bronson? I'd say he's more. I'd describe him more, his music wise, as like probably like a drill artist, to be honest. Like,
Right.
so like the main people, like, he used to do videos heaps of him rapping over beats, and he'd mainly rap over sort of like Drake beats sort of thing. But
Okay.
but his content was very like street content sort of thing.
Okay. He sounds a little bit like his flow's a little bit kind of grime orientated, if that makes sense. I always thought he might have been
I always
like
think of Grime is more fast paced than him, if that makes sense. Like when I think of Grime, I think the epitome of Grime. Like my favorite Grime artist is probably Gets.
yeah. Okay.
So I always think of more fast paced sort of thing. But I can see where you're going at. Like Bronson might have more of like a gigs delivery sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That kind of thing. But yeah, he's good, to be fair, and I like him and Asthmatic in particular were the two that impressed me quite a lot in that tournament, to be
Yeah,
fair. So
Asthmatic is fucking, like, he's incredible. And I remember, so I was one of the judges for Asthmatic versus Bobby, and I was like, oh fuck, like I was tearing my hair out, like knowing I'd agreed to judge that one. I'm like, for fuck's sake, because Bobby's like, he's been probably the best mate that I've made out in the UK. Like Bobby, if you watch me versus Visual, me versus Sean O'Mac, it's Bobby standing behind me.
yeah,
And
okay.
before Frost as well, like Frost is one of the few battles where I had 4 weeks notice and I didn't choke. And that's probably because of Bobby, because I chatted to him the week before and I was going through my rounds with him. He's like, change this word, like, in the UK, that won't go off. So cut this, that sort of thing. And we were on the phone for probably like 4 fucking hours. So Bobby's always had my back. So going into that one, I rate Asthmatic as well. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to judge this one. And it turns out my vote was the, like,
Can you hear me, man? You've gone on your end. Hello, can you hear me?
yo, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, sorry, I think it cut out or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. You cut off around the bat. You were just saying that I heard everything about Bobby kind of giving you advice for battles and stuff, and then it kind of cut off after that point.
Okay. No, I was just saying, like, judging the tournament, it was like a nightmare when he versed Asthmatic,
Yeah,
because I was like, Asthmatic like flows fucking brilliantly, and like I love Asthmatic's tracks, and him versus Bobby, I'm like, fuck, I can't believe I have to judge this shit. And I ended up giving it to Bobby just because I thought that Az showed Bobby too much respect and didn't really like rap about him enough, whereas Bobby like full on, does what Bobby does.
Yeah, just character assassination pretty
Yeah.
much. But yeah, agreed. I do think Bobby took it on that front, but I was very impressed with Asthmatic through the whole tournament, to be honest.
I think Az versus his round versus O'Shea is still the round of the tournament.
Yeah, I probably agree. He was sit in that, to be fair. And I thought, because I didn't know a lot about Asthmatic beforehand, I think I've seen like maybe one or two of his battles, but I was expecting O'Shea to kind of walk that. So
Yeah,
Asthmatic
no, if
definitely
you knew
surprised me.
Asthmatic, you'd know like his music is impeccable as well.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check some of his music out, to be fair. But
Well, he does music with have you heard of Cortex?
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen quite a few of his battles.
Yeah, so Cortex and Asthmatic did an EP together called Call the Coroner, and I'd say it's the second best Australian hip hop EP I've heard. The only one I'd put above it is probably Dundee Bin Chicken.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've heard most of Dundee's stuff, but I'm definitely gonna have to check out some of Asthmatic. I didn't know Cortex made music either, so I'll have to check
Cortex
that.
as a musician is fucking amazing, man. Like, yeah, ridiculous.
Nice, nice, man. And like since moving over here, then, so you said you've been over here for about a year now. Like, do you see a big difference in like events between Australia and the UK?
Yeah, definitely. Just because here it seems to be a lot easier to do an event, sort of thing. Like, there's obviously so many leagues here, but they all seem to be able to get events very easily, and venues don't seem to be a problem here. Whereas back home, that's our biggest problem by a mile.
Right. Okay.
So, like, we'd have to probably contact like 8 different venues and like go in there and try and talk them into giving us a chance, and then we have to pay them up front, sort of thing.
Right.
So it's a lot harder because so the Australian hip hop scene and the battle scene is obviously a part of that, is deeply embedded with the graph scene as well. So every time we fucking do an event, you've got graph writers who will go into the toilet and just bomb the shit out of the toilets, like throw up their tags everywhere. So then the venue's like, nah, you're done here. Get out.
Right. Okay. That makes
So it was a
sense.
nightmare like that. And then we, like, there was more events. And then, like, one guy gets stabbed at one event, banned from that venue. Bouncer got bottled at that event, banned from that venue. And it's like, fuck, we only have so many venues we can go to. So, like, getting a venue has been the biggest problem in Melbourne, at least, from my perspective, because no one, like, battle rap's like a dirty word in Melbourne. Like, no one wants to put us on.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. It's I don't think we really have that problem in the UK, but I've noticed that that's an issue in Cardiff. Like I was trying to put on or trying to start organising an event of my own, like probably about 8 months ago now. And the only venue that was within kind of walking distance of the city centre that would do it were they agreed to do it, and then about 3 weeks later, I got a message from them saying, "Look, we've looked into it a bit more, and the police have like South Wales police have kind of got battle rap events on lockdown, it's a bit of a no-go for us, so we're not able to do it. But it's kind of just down to bad business with Welsh leagues in the past, from what I can gather. But yeah,
that was the thing with us, like, because like when we did our first event, Laundry Bar, which is where we did Dundee versus Cortez, like, you know, I think we had like 150 or 170 people through the door, and they did 10 grand on the bar, and we had to pay $500 for the venue up front. And then we go back to them, and they're like, they were saying they'd welcome us back, and then they doubled the price to, like, you know, book the venue. I'm like, the fuck? Like, this time we don't have as many internationals, so we won't get as many through the door, and you want to double the price? Like, we shouldn't even be paying for the venue if you made 15 grand off the bar when all we cost you was like a grand or something. Like, it just got crazy here. And then we went to another place where it was, what was it? They just said, we'll charge you, what was it, like a certain amount of money per person through the door, but you have to get 100 people through the door. And we did that, and that was fine. But then after I left, they threw another gig, and whoever the bar manager was cracked the shits, because it was like a tryout event. And obviously tryouts, you're not going to get the most, how do we say, good language. It was more like homophobic slurs. And the bar manager cracked the shits and said, Real Talk's never fucking welcome in this venue again. And I was like, fucking hell, boys. Like, I leave here, I've been gone for 3 months, and you've already got us kicked out of the only venue that would have us.
Shit. Okay. Difficult times then. Shit, man. But yeah, like so Real Talk, they've not done an event for a while now, right? But is there, like, I know you're planning to go back towards the end of the year. Like, have you got plans to do some more events with them?
So I think I spoke to, Dwiz went live in the forum the other day. He's planning to do a Brisbane event in September, I believe.
Right, so, okay.
And that'll be the first Brisbane event in, probably like it. Oh no, they had one while I was over here, which was an on beat event. So everyone had to rap on beat, and they brought out like one of our most respected, like, established artists in Checkmate, and he battled the Real Talk champ on beat. And I think that went okay. Like, the footage looked good, but other than that, that's the only event that nationwide has sort of happened in like ages. So,
right, okay.
But I think when I go back, hopefully, like, things have calmed down, at least, like with Corona and all that shit. But I've got no like actual plans to do another event in Melbourne. I'd love to do one, but I'm a realist. When I fly back in, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get a job and, like, you know, earn the cash to throw an event with like decent rappers on there. Because, you know, I always want to pay the rappers as well. Like, I want to pay rappers for their time, sort of thing. But we'll see what happens, I guess.
Sure. No, that makes sense, man. But, like, is there anything that you particularly want from battle rap now? Like, is there any opponents that you'd really like to battle personally, or any leagues that you'd really like to get yourself on, or anything along those lines?
So one of the ones that I definitely want to be on, and I was thinking about it here before the whole Corona thing hit, was I was planning on flying to New York because it's cheaper to go from, like, you know, London to New York than like Melbourne to New York. Like, right. It's probably like a third of the price. So I was thinking of going to New York and battling for iBattle.
Makes sense. Yeah, that'd be good to see, to be fair.
But I was hoping to be like, because here, like, I've been sort of proud of like some of the things. Like, I know I'll never be on like the legends list of Australian battlers, but I was still the first Australian to battle in Dublin, still the first Australian to battle on Premier Battles, and I wanted to be like the first Australian to battle on iBattle in New York. But fucking Ted beat me to it, didn't he?
He did. Yeah,
Cheeky cunt.
the battle actually dropped a couple of days ago, and
Yeah, man, I've watched it. That's one of Ted's best performances. That was fucking incredible.
yeah, he was amazing in that, to be fair, and he was like he was really good when he came out here as well against Canal, and
Yeah, I've seen that, man. Like, because I've got a lot of time for Ted as well. Like, even though I say that we went to battle like ages ago, and I'd still like to battle him, but I think he's sort of like probably like 2 steps ahead of me at the moment. I either have to catch up or call it a day, sort of thing.
I don't know, like
Like I'd have it like if it was in Melbourne, yeah, me versus Ted makes sense.
yeah, and I
When I've
mean
got like
it's
the home crowd advantage, but his writing is now like got to a level where I'm like, fuck, it's getting hard to keep up with this prick anymore.
you know, I can see what you mean, but I mean in Australia, like you said, the talent pool is kind of a lot smaller. So I think it it kind of needs to get to the point where if you weren't in a position to book internationals, then
Yeah,
everyone kind of needs to battle anyone that makes sense, if like
yeah.
stylistically.
I think that did sort of happen even before I left. Like there was this like you want to talk about tiers or whatever. Like there was Dunners, number one. Under Dunners, I'd say Vega, who was close to being to Dunners level. Under that, probably Ted, and then just under Ted, there was probably like a couple of us, like Ted, Creepy J, me, um, and like we were all sort of like, well, what the fuck do we have to do to get to their level, sort of thing. And like Ness had battled Creepy J, I'd battled Ness, I'd battled Creepy J, sort of thing. It was sort of ended up like what battles are left for us, sort of thing, unless we fly in internationals.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And like, there's there's a bit of you guys seem to book quite a few of like the Kiwi guys and stuff like that, but apart
Yeah,
from that, like it's difficult and expensive to get anybody
yeah.
over there, I guess. And
That was the main thing. Like it's extremely expensive to get anyone. Like I booked what was it? The Burn City one where I booked Creepy J versus PFAC and me versus Miles Murphy. It was cheaper to fly them from New Zealand than it was to fly anyone from Perth. Like the country is just so like when it comes to flights wise, it's just ridiculously expensive.
yeah, yeah, we had a conversation about that the other day, and it blew my
Mm.
mind, to be honest. But yeah, like I mean, with the guys from New Zealand, there's definitely some talent coming through there as well. Like I'm a huge fan of PFAC. I think he's amazing,
PFAC
and
is like I think he's one of the best that New Zealand's ever produced. Like PFAC, and there's a guy, he hasn't battled in ages, but his name's Hirsch. But like both those guys, like they could compete on an international stage with no problems whatsoever. And like PFAC is like, yeah, he's one of my favorite battlers that I've seen in person. Like I watched him battle Creepy J, and he wanted to battle me, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm glad I dodged that bullet."
yeah, fair one. And you battled. Was it Bills? He's from New Zealand, right?
Yeah, so Bills lives in Queensland now, but He's from New Zealand. He's from Auckland.
Ah, right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm trying to get some of the Kiwi battlers on the show. Me and P Fat nearly did an episode, but he's got like a newborn baby and stuff. So time wise, it was a bit of a nightmare.
Does
But
he have another one? Because I remember he had a newborn baby when I was booking him.
maybe it's the same one. He just said the baby
No,
when
it
we were
wouldn't surprise
talking,
me,
but
man. Those like those Islander cats, they breed like crazy.
yeah, who knows? To be fair, but he's yeah. Hopefully, we make that happen soon. But is there anyone else to kind of look out for from like Australia or New Zealand, in your opinion, that like the UK listeners might not be aware of?
I think Ness would be top of my list. Like he's probably. I just shared his my battle with him in the Aussie forum probably like an hour before this, but he's one of the best riders, and everyone in Australia now is saying Ness versus Ted, Ness versus Ted, Ness versus Ted, and it makes sense. Ness as a rider is incredible. The only other one I would probably probably Bills keep an eye out for, and Bronson.
Okay.
They're like the top the top three bar Ted, Vega, and that.
Right. Yeah, and I think everyone in the UK at least is aware of like Dundee, Vega, and Ted by now. So
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
all incredible, to be fair. But there's yeah. So Ness, I think I've only seen you versus him, and I'm pretty sure that's the only battle of his that I've seen. To be honest, like, is
So
there?
if I was gonna say like to watch one where Ness, you just see him like go to another level. Watch Ness versus Bronson. So I battled both these guys, but I was amazed. Like Ness was incredible versus Bronson. Like it's one of like going into that battle. I'm like, oh, it depends on the angles Ness takes. But I had Ness taking it like 3-0, and I rate Bronson really highly. But yeah, Ness versus Bronson, incredible.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out then, man. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a few more of the Aussie guys on the show. To be honest, like Dundee and Vega are both going to be coming on, I think, this week coming.
Brilliant, yeah. Because like both those guys, like I can't say enough about either of them. Like, and not just like as battlers, but like as people. Like, I'm close friends with Vega. I'd say like we talk all the time. And Dunners, like I've always had huge respect for him, and like chatting with him, it's always been like he treated me like a peer when like really I feel like a fan sort of thing talking to him. And but yeah, like both those guys are absolute gods in my eyes. Like pinnacle of Australian battle rappers, Dunners and Vega.
Yeah, no, agreed. I'm very excited to speak to those two. I've had Ted on already,
Yeah, I listened to Ted episode.
and then I've reached out to LJ, but again, just due to the time difference and the fact that he's got kids and stuff, it's been quite
Yeah.
difficult to lock in. But
And LJ runs his own business as well. So like running your own business, having like I think he's got 2 kids now, I think. But yeah, like obviously it'd be a bit harder for him.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a few more on the show at some point soon as well. But like with yourself, and so when you do head back to Australia, like is there anyone over there that's left for you that you want to battle?
Probably just Ted, but oh no, actually no, I take that back. When I get back to Melbourne, I want to battle Defron.
Okay, I know the name. he's battled Cortex. Is that right?
No, Defron's battled Immaculate, the Saurus. Who else? He's like an OG sort of, but we've like we don't have a history as in like we've got beef or whatever. But before the written things started kicking off, we were meant to battle on the first ever sort of written battle in Melbourne. So we're 360 versus Anecdote. It was meant to be me versus Defron on that card, but Defron had some sort of health problems during that time, so it didn't go ahead. And then obviously our careers sort of went different trajectories. Like he went on an absolute tear while I was like sitting on the sidelines, and then I came out of nowhere and made a name for myself just battling Aussies. So now it's sort of like make a full circle, battle Defron. And other than that, I've already said this too, like I'll pay for it, but a lot of people have been asking for it in like Melbourne and elsewhere. I'd like to battle Max Hoffa, fly him in.
Nice. Yeah, man, that'd be good to see. He's the only issue for me there is he doesn't seem to put the effort in whenever he's outside of the States.
Yeah.
Like his battles in the UK have been, for the most part, they've been fucking terrible, to be fair to him. Like
I think he might put in like a bit more effort just because like we treated Cortez so well, and Cortez is like a mate of his. So we'd sort of be like, we'll fly you out here. But we'd sort of be like, we'll give you half your pay now, but you ain't getting your half your pay unless you fucking put on a decent show.
Yeah, that's definitely a good call, to be fair. But yeah, it'd be a good battle to see. And I just searched Defron now. It was the Man is Ill battle that I'd seen.
Oh, that was a brilliant battle.
Yeah, really good, to be fair, from what I remember. But
when you've got a deaf person versus a blind person.
yeah, crazy. But yeah, like he's not someone that I'm overly aware of. Actually, I'm gonna have to go back and watch some of his stuff. Well, it
was weird. So I brought Defron back. So for the first event that I threw, where I did Cortez versus Dundee, I got Defron to come back for the first time in, I don't know, like 5-6 years or something. And he battled Jack Scary, and he came back with a completely, in my opinion, completely different style, like way more aggressive. Like when he battled Ilmac and Thesaurus, he was sort of like took the poet route. And then when he battled Jack Scary, he was like in his face barking. I'm like, fucking hell, this Defron's different.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that battle out as well. But looking at his, like some of his battles, like he's come up against some big people as well. Like he's battled battled Ilmac, he's battled Saurus, Real Deal, Madness.
Yeah.
There's quite a few here, like
and
really as well.
That's sort of like the weird thing where when I say when I want to go home and possibly battle him, it's sort of like he got all these shots, whereas like I was sort of the guy who didn't get any shots. So I always gave, once I got to sort of like, upper middle tier or whatever, or maybe top tier is the lower tier would call me. But I started giving shots to everyone underneath me. I'm like, come up with me. Like I just wanted to do classics. Like I didn't care win or lose. Like it was the same thing with visual. Like I knew I got flown out there to lose, and I'm like, all right, cool. But I still want to put up a fight, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think I said this on the episode that I did with visual. So I feel like with that battle, you were still really good, and I think against another opponent, 9 times out of 10 you'd have won that battle. But I think visual were like that was without a doubt like his breakout performance, if that makes sense. Like that's the
Mate, talk about a breakout performance. The only battles I'd watched a visual before that were first Just Jay and his first battle. So, like, going into that, I knew the material already. I'm like, I'm going to walk all over this kid. Because, like, and then he comes out with that, and he was fucking incredible.
yeah, phenomenal,
Like,
to be fair to him.
like I couldn't believe it. And, like, but still the same thing. In Australia, like there's some people who have me getting the win, and I don't have me getting the win. Don't get me wrong there. I reckon he got me definitely in the first and the third, but I thought I took the second. But some people in Australia have me getting the third just because Visual was really smart with the way he grabbed. So I know he watched the Nest battle. He even put up like a clip about that beforehand, but people in Australia are like sort of bored of me being called an alcoholic.
Right.
So it's like I've heard this angle before, so they don't rate that third as much as like most people do.
That makes
But I'm
sense.
like, he like if we did this in Australia, he wouldn't have come with that angle. He's just smart. Like he knows what he's doing. He knows this crowd doesn't know KARNI, so let me pull the alco and gambling angle sort of thing.
Makes sense, yeah.
Like he was
It's
really smart like about that, and like a full like absolute respect to Visual. I give him the first and third cleanly, and I do think I edged the second, but most people say 3-0, but I thought I got the second, but I'm just happy that I put up a fight sort of thing.
yeah, you really did, man. And it was like I said, 9 times out of 10 against another opponent, I think your rounds and your performance was strong enough to have beaten most people. But unfortunately, it was a bit of a freak of nature performance from Vishal in
Yeah.
that sense. Like he was unbelievable, to be fair to him. But like,
And like a couple of people have asked me, like, what do you reckon would happen if that battle happened in Australia? And I'm like, you can't say that because Visual was smart enough. He wouldn't have done those angles in Australia, sort of thing. Like you can't take a battle from someone's hometown and place it somewhere else because we both would have written different rhymes if it was in Australia, sort of thing.
of course, yeah, man. And it's like at the same time though, for yourself, like you said, it was just you knew that you were being put up against kind of a local battler, and like it was going to be difficult to win the crowd over and whatever. But just getting to go to Ireland, I guess, was just worth it completely.
Yeah, well, it was my second time there. The first time was like, I think the first time was my best performance, but obviously because of the camera footage and it got put on, some their second channel or whatever. But that was my favorite performance that I had versus Intimidation. Like, I can't lie, that's still probably that, and then the Bills one I think is my best performances.
Okay, yeah, no, I can see that. I thought the intimidation battle was really good. To be fair, I don't know why they put it on the second channel, but
It was more, I think, because of the footage quality, and obviously Paul had a few jokes in his first and third.
yeah, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, like, is there anywhere else you follow? Like, while you're over this side of the world, is there anyone that you've not battled for yet that would interest you?
I think I don't really think so because like I battled for what is it, Dome Flop. Um, Obviously, Premier battles. I'd like to do a small room event properly for Premier battles.
You did
'Cause,
battle for them, right?
yeah, I battled for them versus Sean O'Mac, and it was meant to be the small room event, but then the two other battles that were meant to be on the small room got cancelled. So then me versus Shauno got moved to the academy. I was like, for fuck's sake, I've written for like a really small room sort of thing, like 10 people sort of thing. And Shauno adjusted that to so easy. But even at the end of that, most people have Shauno taking the win there. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. But I still think that was a close battle as well.
Nice. It's not been released though, is it?
No, so me versus Shauno, it got released on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So they upload as a Facebook video, but not on YouTube. So I'd like to do a proper small room for Premiere and to have actually be released on YouTube sort of thing.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, man. But yeah, it'd be good to see you on there. And like, there's a few leagues that are kind of popping up and booking people from the UK through Europe now. So like, I know Matt has recently been booked in Norway for a fairly new league over there, and
Well, I
there's
remember, what was it? Bobby and Raptor got booked in Denmark or some shit.
yeah, quite a few
I'm
people have
amazed
been
those
out there.
cunts got back.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
agreed.
I know Bobby and Raptor enough to know, fucking hell, you travel both those guys together, fucking hell. I'm amazed. Yeah, I'm amazed they got back.
Yeah, agreed. To be fair, but yeah, I think Bobby recently went to Sweden, maybe, or maybe that was Denmark.
No,
Actually,
that was the Denmark one, man.
ah, right, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense then. Yeah,
They
there's
they like, I don't know what the fuck they got up to, but apparently as soon as like they landed in the airport or something, they were escorted from the airport. Bobby and
Christ.
Raptor are like a fucking menace together, man. Like, can't trust them.
No, definitely, but yeah, like quite a few people have been over to Denmark now as well. Like they kind of book even the more sort of obscure names in that sense. Like I know
Yeah.
Max Sherry's been over there and stuff. So they're
Shit. Yeah. Maybe that's after like all this shit settles down, I might ask to go and get booked.
yeah, yeah,
I've never
definitely,
been
man.
to Denmark. Like that was the one thing that sort of got me shitty about like, living here. It's like I haven't been to anywhere but Ireland in like the year and a half I've been here. Because like I was saving up money to like travel this year because I've been here the previous year, but for the first 5 months, I wasn't employed. I'm like, fuck, I'm losing money. I can't like, book a trip while I'm going for job interviews. So this year I'm like, I've got a little bit of money. I want to travel, and then fucking Corona hits. I'm
Yeah,
like,
man.
you're fucking kidding me. So
Shit, isn't it?
if the borders open up, I will take a battle in Denmark. I don't care who it's versus.
Yeah, yeah, agreed, man. And like, don't let the label you in Germany is fucking mental as well. Like some of the crowds they get at their events are like their events are giant, to be fair. Like if you got the chance to battle in Berlin, I'd definitely say take that as well. It was
Oh,
amazing
definitely,
out
man.
there.
Like, I'd be happy to reach out. Like, I'll battle anyone as long as I don't have to learn another language. Because I've been trying to learn Spanish for fucking 5 years, and all I know is, hablas no inglés.
Yeah, fair one. No, I can appreciate that, but yeah, yeah, it'd be good to see you out like somewhere in Europe as well before you do head back. To be fair, but
Yeah.
like with yourself, this question I've been asking everyone, and everyone has kind of found it the most difficult question to answer. But because you've kind of promoted your own events and stuff, I guess it might be slightly easier. But if you were booking an event that you had like unlimited funds for, who are you booking on the card, and like what battles do you want to see most?
Main event. Loaded Lux versus Pat Stay.
Okay, nice.
Let me think. Co-main. Hollow the Don versus Ilmac rematch.
Nice. Okay.
This is not what, but Dumbfounded versus Math Offer.
Okay, I quite like that actually.
Yeah. How many do I have to do?
Well, to be honest, when I first started doing the show, it was like between 8 and 10, and now I've narrowed it down to just do however many you want to do.
Okay. Let me see. What else do I want? B Magic versus Averb.
Okay.
I was about to say Hitman Holler versus Arsenal, and I realized that's already happened, and it's one of my favorite battles.
It happens a lot, to be fair. It's hard to keep up with who's battled who nowadays.
Has Hitman Holler battled K-Shine? I'm sure that's happened, yeah?
I think, no, I don't think they have.
Okay, well, that's one. Definitely Hitman Holler versus K-Shine. And, Vega versus Holohan.
Okay, yeah, that's sick. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's really good, to be fair. I'm just trying to. Yeah, Hitman did battle K-Shine.
Fuck.
It was,
Scrap that one.
it's only a couple of years ago as well. Actually, I completely forgot about
Actually, all right, I'll scrap that. Hitman versus Dundee.
that. Yeah, okay, I like that.
We'll see if, like, you know, he gets as aggy as if he wants up against a fucking Aussie.
I like it. Yeah, like he needs to come back to the UK for me, Hitman, as well. Like he's been over here once, and it was.
Who did Hitman battle over here?
Oh man, it was the weirdest fucking battle ever. It was that Battle of the Brave event. So like, have you heard about this? The Battle of the Brave
No.
event. So they were kind of a league that just popped up out of nowhere and booked probably the biggest card that we've ever seen in the UK. Like for their first event. So
I've seen that happen 3 times while I've been here.
yeah, but they booked Hitman Holler to battle. Are you aware of Bonkers, like the grime artist?
No, I'm not aware of him.
He's mates with Stormzy and all that. Like he's
Okay, yeah.
fairly big, but they booked that, so it was Bonkers' first ever battle, stepping on stage against fucking Hitman Holler, and it was weird. But then the rest of the card was like, so that was the original Pat Stay versus Hollow the Dom that turned out to be the one rounder.
Yeah.
Charlie Clips versus Gemini happened there. Tony D versus Math Hoffer. Arsenal versus JC.
Wait, so how many of these went through? None of them, or?
Yeah, so all these battles happened.
Oh.
But it was like, it was just a bit of a strange event. Like nobody knew who any of the people were that were throwing this event. And like, I was in the venue for it. I saw the event, and like Pat Stay versus Hollow was announced, and I booked tickets off the back of that. And then about 5 minutes before the battle was about to happen, they announced that it had been changed to a one rounder, and everyone was just like, "What the fuck?" Like,
Yeah.
a 3-minute round each. It's just like, what the fuck's going on? But yeah, like the whole event was just fucking weird, man. And Hitman Holler versus Bonkers was one of the weirdest battles I've ever seen.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think to finish up. Now that you've named like more battlers as well, I'm like thinking more about it. Like Tony D versus Nicotine would probably be fucking bonkers to me.
Yeah.
No pun. I think that's probably the rest of it, man. I'm done.
No, that's fair enough. It's a good card, to be fair, man. And yeah, I like it. But like, is there anyone that like for? I know a lot of Australian battlers personally that like haven't battled for years. Like, is there anyone that you think needs to come back?
I'd love to see. Obviously, Dunners. It's probably been close to a year now. Not actually, no, close to 2 years. Dunners, Manners, BK Ultra, Purpose, like most of our stock is like gone to. That's how I nearly got rated as top tier because everyone else left.
Yeah, like there seems to be a lot of people that pop up, do a couple of battles, and then they're done, kind of thing. Like, I remember, I mean, this was a long time ago now, to be fair, but there was a kid called, like, I think it was Zoned Out or something like that.
Yeah, he's the one who battled Cursor.
Yeah, that's it. Like, he seemed pretty good, and then, like, I can't remember who else there is now. Like, there's just a lot of people that I've kind of seen a couple of battles from, and then they've never really battled much again after that. But I guess it's also kind of to do with how difficult, like you said, and expensive it is to get around
Yeah,
Australia, I guess.
that's sort of the thing. Like, it's so expensive to try and like fly a battle out. And then if you're asking them to pay their own way, they're like, why the fuck would I do this? Like, I'm not going to pay $300, $400 just to do a battle for no return. So I can get like, 2,000 views on YouTube. Like, it sort of got to that point where everyone was sort of like, it's not worth, like, the squeeze ain't worth the juice anymore.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, man. But like, apart from that, that's kind of like the battle rap related questions done with. But I've been ending the episodes with like some music based questions and then just three random questions at the end. But you do make music yourself, is that right?
Yeah, kind of. It's been a few years since I've made a song.
Right. And is it something you'd get back into, do you think, when you move home? Or
Oh no, so I've been working on music since I got quarantined. Like, I bought 3 beats and like I'm working on music with the guy that, like, I used to work with back
okay.
there. So I'm working on music at the moment. Hopefully get EP out probably, to be honest, it's going to be like the end of 2021 because obviously all the shit going on at the minute.
Of course. Yeah, no, I understand that. But like, for you, is there any like musicians that you're a big fan of that like myself or the listeners might not be aware of? Like, there's quite a lot of Australian rappers that I've kind of
I
discovered
like,
recently that I really like.
to be honest, it is still Dundee. Like, I honestly think that Dundee is currently the best rapper, not just battle rapper, best rapper in Australia. Like,
Okay,
Bin
fair one.
Chicken and um, Phoenix, like both those projects were like fucking amazing to me. They still always will be my favorites. And if you want to look out for I guess, Australian releases. If you can find Prowler, Lone Wolf, Hilltop Woods, The Calling. Let me think, what else?
Yeah, Hilltop Woods I've found quite recently.
And Lyrical Commission, The Stage Is Set, that's sort of like built Melbourne sort of thing. They're the best ones.
Right. That makes sense, yeah. And there's like, apart from just like Australian hip hop, there's a few other people that I've found recently. Like there's a kid called, I think his name's like Hooligan Hefts or something like that.
Oh, Hooligan Hefts? Yeah. Actually, no, I've got to shout out those two as well. So Hooligan Hefts is fucking crazy. He's a Sydney artist, but the other one, like, I don't really need to shout him out because more people watch their videos than they'll ever watch this. And it's 1-4. 1-4, and I use that as a punchline for Viz. So 1-4 had a song called Shanks and Shivs, and I said, like, you don't fuck with Shanks and Shivs, so why's that mouth keep begging for 1-4? So that was sort of like an Easter egg for Australian viewers.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I've not heard of them, so I'll have to check them out. But
1-4 definitely check out, and they've even got like UK reaction videos by what's their name, Kez and I can't remember, Kez and something, but they've got like millions of views, man. Check out 1-4 Welcome to Prison, 1-4 In the Beginning. Like these guys are phenomenal. They're one of the best Australian artists. Bar, like, I'll always shout out the dudes that I know, like Manners, Dundee, Dwiz, like, always give shout outs to those guys as well.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. And I think there's a guy called Chillin' It. He's an Aussie, right?
Chillin' It? Yeah, he's big as well, man. Chillin' It had that massive fucking hit. Fuck, I can't remember the name. But yeah, Chillin' It, Wombat, Greeley, like they're like Chillin' It and Wombat, like real close as well. They've done, I think they did a UK thing as well. But yeah, Chillin' It's fucking huge back in Oz as well.
Yeah.
I just know that dude smokes mad weed, and like I don't smoke weed, so I don't follow him as much. But he's huge, like back in Australia.
Right. Yeah, he's him, and then there was a guy called, I want to say his name was like Salty MC or something like that. They were both on JDZ Media not too long ago, and they were both pretty good, to be fair. So been kind of
I
following
don't know that
them.
one. I know like Chillin' It, Wombat, and like all that, but yeah, I'm not familiar with the other cat. But big ups to him as well, man. I'm just happy when like Australian rap gets respected.
Yeah.
Like, even when like I battle Frost, like you look at the YouTube comments, someone says like you're from Australia, fuck off, don't rap. It's like fucking hell.
Yeah, I'll fuck people like that though, like who fucking cares what they think, do you know what I mean?
No, I had a laugh about it. I'd never seen it before, and then like just before this, I was like, fuck, I gotta watch some of my old battle raps in case fucking Lewis asked me about some. And I saw this comment, I was like, I started pissing myself laughing. I'm like, oh fuck. This reminds me of back in the day when like people were saying UK guys can't rap. And I was thinking like, to be honest, like, I probably listen to more UK rap now than I do American. Like,
yeah, I definitely do. Like, but it's I think
say at the moment my favorite artist is probably Dave.
Okay.
Like, that song, like Leslie and fucking what was it? Voices. Like, I was like going bananas over that. That shit was crazy. And then obviously I'm a fan of Stormzy and shit, and what's that, Heady One, Cano. Like, I've just been, it's been cool living here in that sense that I get to find these new artists that like have been around for years, but I never knew about when I was in Australia.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's there's a lot of talent over here at the moment, but yeah, I'm kind of recently getting into like more of the Aussie rappers as well, and there's some fucking sick guys over there too.
Man, definitely, like I'm just saying, like, Dunner's last EP and album, it's the most phenomenal shit, like, I've heard here. Like, I can't give that guy enough praise. And it's weird because I've met him and, like, obviously, like, I've booked him before for gigs and that, and I've battled on the same car for him. But, like, I messaged him, I'm like, bro, this album is ridiculous. And he's like, yeah, cheers, Cons. And I'm like, I'm amazed he even responds to me these days. I'm like, you should be a fucking superstar right now. You should be well above responding to me.
Yeah, he seems like a sound bloke. Oh, I've met him.
No,
Like,
he's humble as fuck. Like, yeah,
yeah,
he's just a good guy all around, man. Can't give
definitely
enough time to Dunners, yeah.
nice, man. And like for you then, in terms of like gigs or shows and stuff that you've been to, who stands out as like the best live act that you've seen?
Probably the Roots.
Yeah, okay, shit. A lot of people say that. To be fair, I've still not seen them myself, but
Oh man, yeah, I've seen him twice. Like, yeah, you got to see him live. I remember, I think it was Rolling Stone called them the second best live act in history behind James Brown and the Beatles.
shit. Okay, yeah, fair one. Yeah, I've got to see them at some point, but yeah, they do come up a lot. To be fair, so I'm jealous that you've seen them, but like,
There's something about like live drums. Like, I remember even when I was trying to like get my music going, like I always said like I need live drums just because I've just seen Roots do it.
yeah, yeah, Quest Love in it on the
Oh
drums. He's
man,
amazing,
he crushes it.
but the last music question is probably the hardest again. But if you had to pick your all-time three favorite albums off the top of your head, what would you go with?
Common B.
Okay, yeah, that's not come up before. To be fair, I like that.
I don't know, for some reason, even like just the intro of that, like, yeah, it's just crazy to me. And that whole album I could listen through. For me, it's always an album you can listen through without skipping a song.
Yeah,
Um, Second would probably be Kanye West College Dropout.
nice.
Like, I know everyone says, like, you know, My Beautiful Twisted Fantasy is his best album, but College Dropout was where he didn't have an ego.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's my favorite Kanye album as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I fucking love that one. Third album. It's got to be Dre 2001.
Nice. Yeah, again, that's that one comes up quite a lot. To be fair, but it's a classic, and it so
I think that was like, especially people sort of my age, like that was like year defining. There wasn't a single place you could go that year without hearing the next episode.
definitely.
And every single person in whatever room you were in, as soon as the next episode came on, everyone just waited for it. The gotta. Like, it went off like crazy. So
Yeah,
yeah, that'd be my third one.
nice man. That's a good list, and yeah, the final three they are completely random. But are you a big sports fan, and do you have a favourite sports team?
Sports fan, obviously Australian. Favorite sports team, Collingwood Magpies, which are AFL team back in Australia.
Okay, it's like I've never followed it. I've been I've been to a game, but I couldn't even remember. Like I was young. I was probably about 9 at the time. Like my stepdad's from New Zealand, so we've stopped in Australia for a few days, like when we've been there and
Yeah, but you
stuff.
were
And
in
like,
Sydney, weren't you?
yeah. So
Yeah,
his,
that would have been rugby games they'd want to watch there.
yeah, and his best mate lived in Sydney, so it was like if we had a
Yeah,
reason to go there, that was kind of it. But yeah, It looks like a sick sport, to be fair, but I don't really know anything about it. But
Yeah, it's
is there
fucking madness.
is there any other sport that you're into?
Just boxing and MMA.
Fair one, nice one. But like, if you could pick anywhere in the world for your next kind of holiday or trip abroad, where would be top of your list, and where would you go?
That's a good one. I think Portugal. I don't know why. It just seems random, but I've never been there, and yeah.
Nice, no, good shout, man. And where's your favourite place you've been so far?
I'm gonna say Dublin.
Yeah, I get that. I've still not been to Ireland myself, but I'm hoping to
And
get over
go to
for the.
Dublin, like it's just I don't know. Even if it's not for a battle rap event, like I had so much fun there. But like that weekend of Broken Resolutions too, it it will still probably go down as one of the best weekends of my entire life, without a
Nice.
doubt.
Yeah, man, it
Even
looked
if battles
crazy.
didn't happen, the shit that happened outside of the battling made it the best weekend of my life, sort of thing. It was just the funniest fucking weekend of my life, man.
Yeah, fair one. It looked amazing, to be fair, and I'm fucking gutted, to be honest, man. I was meant to be there, um, and everything fell through a couple of days before. I had to like
Oh,
sell my flight and sell my Airbnb and all that kind of stuff. But
that's brutal.
yeah, luckily,
At least you got to sell it though. Like, there's heaps of people at the moment who are like, you know, oh, I had trips to Italy or some shit, and like one of my best friends is like, I had a trip to Italy, and he can't even get a refund at the moment, and this was back in like fucking April or March.
yeah.
But
No, I've had two of those as well. To be fair, I was
oh,
meant to.
yeah. Sorry for bringing it up then.
Yeah, like the Ireland one. Basically, It was even worse because I was meant to start a new job around that time, and the training was going to begin on the Monday after Broken Resolutions, so like the day
Oh,
after the final day. Um, and like the training was in Manchester. I live in Cardiff. I was flying back to Cardiff at 9 a.m. on the Monday morning, which was when
oh,
the training in Manchester was going to be starting. So I kind of luckily Wales were playing Ireland in Dublin in the rugby that the same weekend as
yeah, I remember that because it cost me a fucking shitload more on that first hostel day.
yeah, I bet. And luckily I got to sell my flight and my Airbnb to some lads that got last minute tickets to the rugby, so it wasn't too bad. But then we were meant to go to a wedding in Sweden in April, and we've still not had the money back for the flights for that yet. And then we had everything booked to go to Outlook Festival in Croatia this year, which has now been cancelled as well, and not received anything back for that either. So it's
Fuck.
been a bit of a weird one, but we'll have to wait and see, I guess. But yeah, I mean, how's the situation with flights back to Australia at the moment? Have the prices dropped a lot?
No, it's pretty much the same. I think. Like, I haven't looked at them really because, like, if I go back there, obviously the job market's not great, and the job I work here is sort of like just UK based. So I go back there, I've got to find a new job. So I haven't really looked at it yet, but I
Right.
just know like the economy shit there, as it is everywhere. It seems.
Yeah. Yeah. True. It's probably best to stick it out over here for as long as possible, I guess. But
Pretty
yeah.
much, yeah.
And the final question, which has brought up a mixture of good and terrible answers, to be fair, but you can pick one sweet and one savoury, but what are the go-to snacks in your opinion?
Hmm. Well, this will change depending on if you know Australian. I'll say savoury would be barbecue shapes, which I don't think they have here. But if you
No,
look
they
at
don't.
they are savoury. Barbecue shapes by fucking Arnott's. That's my savoury. And a sweet, fuck, I don't know, Boost bar?
Okay, yeah, they're not bad answers. I'll give you that. I do like the barbecue shakes, to be fair. So I'm with you there. But
Wait, where can you get that? Like, you're saying barbecue shapes like they're readily available. Where the
oh
fuck?
no, like you can get them in New Zealand.
Oh, fuck, yeah. I thought you
Yeah,
were saying you could get them around in England. I'm like, where the fuck are you getting them from, mate?
Amazon. You can get them on Amazon. I think. I think they're probably about £3 or £4 a bag. But
Actually, I might dig in now that I'm not paying fucking what is it, fucking £8 actually a day to travel back and to from work. Might actually splurge out and get me a bag of fucking barbecue shapes. Ugh.
do it, mate. Yeah, I know you can get them somewhere online over here because like every Christmas, my mum will buy my stepdad like loads of food from back home that he can't get
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
So like she'll get like those. She'll get like, do you get pineapple chunks? The like chocolate pineapple things in Australia.
Never fucking heard of that, but it does sound enticing.
Yeah, they're pretty good. What else was it? Cookie time cookies or something like that.
I don't know. It just sounds like whoever's giving you these suggestions is like I'm definitely getting diabetes.
Oh yeah, 100%. But it's worth it. Who cares? But yeah.
Definitely.
No, but apart from that, man, that's pretty much everything done. But was there anything that you wanted to like plug or promote on the show at all?
I just say, look up KARNI verse on YouTube. You can pretty much see me either win or lose a lot of battles, and make sure go subscribe to Real Talk Battle League. We're pretty much the only active league that is going around in Australia. Got a shitload of great battles on there, and yeah, big ups to Lewis and big ups to everyone who's put me on pretty much while I've been here. I've been on like fucking 4 different leagues, and I'm grateful to everyone who's given me a chance. So thank you.
Nice, man. No, it's been good to see you over here, and fingers crossed. We're hopefully if things are a bit more back to normal, we could get another battle or two before you head back.
Definitely, man. Thank you for
Nice.
having me.
No, anytime, mate. Thank you for taking the time to come on, and I hope you stay safe over there. Anyway,
You too, brother. Speak soon.
take care, man.